Hi, my name is Jeff Meacham. Today I'm going to be talking about my senior project, getting my major in IT, my minor with digital forensics. For my senior project, I was asked to do some security testing on a local company. Talking a little fast because there's a lot that I have to cover in 10 minutes. All right, so I was asked to do the security testing on a local company, and I will talk about the tools I used and the results I got. The first tool I used is called the Pineapple Router. Now this is a bit of a pain to program, but it is so awesome once you can get it down. What the Pineapple Router is a router sold by Hack5. It's mostly used for penetration testers. Oh, that's funny. Okay, sorry I got distracted by this. I'll talk about this in a sec. It's used by penetration testers because it can perform a man-in-the-middle really easy and an evil twin really easy. Some of the tools that I used were the Pineapple AP. What that does is it automatically captures whoever is walking by. It talks to their wireless device and says, hey, you can connect to me. I don't have a password, and you can have free Wi-Fi. And your device will be like, okay. So that's really cool. Over here, it tells me who's connected. The reason why I paused earlier is because there's a host name undefined. So I'm wondering if one of my neighbors just connected, and I'll soon be able to see everything they're doing. That's really funny. And the last thing is SSL strip. Now this is a really cool tool, SSL strip. It turns the HTTPS protocol into HTTP format, and because of that, it can capture what website you went to, the username you used, and the password. So for example, right before I started this video, I went to dearelder.com. My username is my email address. My password was just password, just because I wanted to see if it would capture any obligatory password, which it did for this example. So that's one of the main tools I used. Now I was thinking when I got there, oh, I'm going to have to run so many different attacks to get into their Wi-Fi in order to perform a man-in-the-middle, to set up an evil twin. Well, it was actually a lot easier than that. They were vulnerable in several different spots, one of them being their Wi-Fi for their guests didn't have a password. They didn't have Wi-Fi for their users, which is a very smart move. They had them all plugged into a switch, but they didn't have any for their users, for their guests. And so I was able to just boot this machine up. As soon as I caught one, I stopped it because I was told I can't hack any real information, which kind of defeats the purpose, but whatever. So all I had to do was show them proof that it worked. And so that's what I did with the Pineapple Router. Something else the Pineapple Router can do is it can set up DNS spoof. That's really good, for the clients, to capture clients' passwords and usernames and stuff, but for the company itself, I would have had to have plugged into an Ethernet port in order to get internet access to my router, and it would have been really hard to do, and so all I did was capture the guests. However, in order to capture the workers, I used a really nifty program called Armitage. For all those that don't know what Armitage is, it was a penetration tool made by Raphael Mudge, and it is really awesome because once you can plug into a company's Ethernet port, oh, you gotta be kidding me. My virtual machine froze. All right, let's start it over. Okay, so once you can plug it into a company's Ethernet port, you can run Armitage, and Armitage will find all the computers that are connected to that switch. It can then go ahead and run Nmap and find out what OSs they're running, and it's a very, very useful program. After it finds out what OSs are running, it can find out what ports are open, it can tell me what attacks I should run, and it is very useful in that sense. So let's give it this another moment to boot up real quick. password is password. No, I'm kidding. So just a moment, we'll be back up and running. The third tool I used was the Parrot operating system, which is at the college. You can create one of your own virtual machines that way and set up a phishing attack. I'll talk about that in a minute. But the reason why I did it at the college is just because it would have a static IP address, and I got a little success that way. Is actually really cool. However, once I had it down perfect, the owner of the company told me not to send out that email. And I'll go into why here in just a moment. All right, let's go ahead and try again. Let's run Armitage. Doesn't look like it froze. Set that to the side, and I'll go ahead and open up another program that I use. Oh, where am I? There we go. This is called the Social Engineering Toolkit. This is a very awesome toolkit, very useful. It's a toolkit that focuses mostly on social engineering, such as the dethroned Prince of Nigeria sort of stuff. Okay, over here, Armitage is still loading up. And what it does is it'll connect itself to Metasploit. Yes, I want to run Metasploit. All right, let's go back to Social Engineering Toolkit. It'll keep saying connection refused just because it's trying to talk to it and it's not up yet. Okay, so Social Engineering Toolkit. Let's go ahead and do a social engineering attack. We'll do one. Let's go ahead and do a spear phishing attack. And we can go ahead and send out an email. And then from here we can do stack buffer overflow. I want to do a shell that would reverse it back to me, but there's other stuff you can do. You can also set up a fake website where they have to click on the link as well. And so here you have to type in the password, And so what I did with this, I tried sending the shells out. Their email filter caught those, and so that was unsuccessful. So that was a good thing for them. It means their email filter is up and running. And then I went ahead and tried a phishing attack. What I did for this is I spoofed the owner's email address, and I went ahead and I sent out an email saying in the subject line, updated paid holidays policy. And then in the inside it's like, sorry that for the inconvenience, there's been an update in the policy. A lot of people have been asking us questions. Please click on the link below and it'll take you to the main website itself. And so what I did was I copied the IP address that that Parrot gave me. I went to Word. I just changed it into normal hyperlink and I renamed it like tplink.com/login, like the company was TP-Link. And so so that way they'd have to go to it, click on there, it'd take them to what looks exactly like the regular page, and then they type in their email and password. Was it successful? Very. So I caught the username, Aspen, password. I don't know what kind of password that is. I don't know if she believed it or not. But after I showed the boss that, he asked me not to send out phishing emails like that because he didn't want to get 40 calls from all his employees. And so that's what I did with the phishing. Over here in Armitage, really cool. So you can go ahead and scan for hosts. Once you find hosts, I don't have any hosts right now. I'm using this virtual machine. It's not connected to any sort of LAN with multiple hosts. So I'll just quickly talk about this. Armitage was really cool. I was able to plug my computer in their Ethernet port and run a scan. Once I ran the scan, I had the option of using an exploit payload attack, or I could run a Hail Mary and run everything against it and see what would stick, which machines would be vulnerable. It's really cool because it uses Nmap, and I'd be able to see what operating systems and what ports they have open and do the attacks that way. Rather than run the attacks though, I just went ahead and made a report out of it. It's kind of cool. It's like Nessus, if anyone's familiar with that, and I was able to see the vulnerabilities, make up a list, and pass it off to them, and that was a really easy thing. So let's talk about how I implemented all of this. I went to one of the offices here in St. George, and they actually offered me a job to go around to the other offices and keep trying this even after the semester, which is pretty cool. So I went ahead and went to one of the offices, and I told them I was from the university recycling club. I don't even know if we have a recycling club. And I wanted to give them a presentation about recycling and set up bins for them. At first, they were like really against it. I was like, no, it's okay. I talked to the owner. He said it would be fine. I was dressed up in a shirt and tie, and I had one of those $5 smiles for them. And they went ahead and said, yeah, come back tomorrow at 11. I went over at 10:30. I'm like, oh, I'm a half hour late. Is it okay if I just get set up? And they're like, sure thing. And so they walked me over to an empty office. They said, here's all the privacy you need. We'll go ahead and close the door. Boom. I was in. So, of course, I went ahead, plugged directly into their Ethernet port, which they did not have unblocked. I mean, makes sense that the empty offices wouldn't have their Ethernet ports blocked. I mean, it would make more sense if they had a face plate over it, but I was able to plug directly in and run Armitage. And I just sat there, and they brought me a water, and that was very nice of them. Another thing I did while I was there was I just had the Pineapple router connected to the guest Wi-Fi. Nobody was in the office at the time, but as you can see, it's a pretty useful tool, and it works. It just takes forever to figure out how to work it. And so I was able to do that. I said thank you, left, and got a call about 45 minutes later from the boss asking me if I had fun. Apparently, one bad thing I did was with this virtual machine, it won't see the guest Wi-Fi unless I have an air card connected to it. So I had to get an air card, and they thought it was suspicious that I was plugged into the wall and had my air card up and running. But was I able to get the information? Yes. Was that the damage done? Yes. Could they have tracked it back to me? No, because I didn't give them my real name or anything like that. Also, I walked there, so that way cameras wouldn't see my car. So that was a really cool trick. I gave somebody a USB Ducky flash drive to plug into their computer and open the back door, and that did not work, which is a shame because it was a very big pain to program. I wonder if I still have that file. It either didn't work or they did not care to plug it into their computer. I'm thinking it's probably a second one because, let's face it, users are very silly. All right, it's been 13 minutes. I've talked way too long. It's a big success. I went ahead and contacted some security magazines after I was done. They seemed very interested in publishing my report, so hopefully before the semester begins, fall semester begins, that you guys will be able to read a magazine about what I did, some more information about how I did it, and yeah, thanks for watching.